All right, we are live, and I'm going to put the YouTube link into the event right now. And I think our first person up is Sherra Branch. Sherra, are you here? Is Sherra here? All right, then. Our second person up is Lisa. Lisa, I think I saw you. Are you here?
I am here, and I'm actually in the restroom of a restaurant. We're having a date night tonight, and I never get to have a date night, but I was like, I really want to hop on for just a few minutes, so I actually had to come into the bathroom. So,
oh, that's pretty awesome.
So I was like, just give me a few minutes, honey. I'll be right back. So, I put what I wanted to share on a Google Doc. And so I made a bit.ly for it because I didn't realize that I was going to have a date night. So the bit.ly is bit.ly/slam jam GEG. And the GEG is all capital letters. So maybe somebody can see if they can pull that up.
I just put it into our spreadsheet also.
Okay.
So if anybody wants to click on it, it should be in there, and I will put it into our event. All right. Okay. I think you guys are seeing me instead of Lisa, so let me turn this over to her. Okay.
Oh, no, that's fine.
No, your makeup looks really good. Much better than mine.
Well, I showered, and so good date night.
Way to go. So, all right, it's all yours, Lisa.
Stay out past 9 o'clock. I don't know.
That's major. Would be for us anyway.
Yeah, 3 kids. We don't get out much.
All right, it says request access for me.
Okay, I'll have to when we hang up, I'll go in and see what I've done wrong. But keep the bit.ly because it'll be good.
Okay.
A few that I wanted to talk about. One of them is I've been learning a lot about the library digital resources available. And if you have access to Gale, G-A-L-E, Gale, they have a whole connection and plug-in now with Google Classroom. And so when you type in the Gale database and you find articles that you like, you can actually share them directly to Classroom. And so it was really powerful, like as a teacher, to be able to share, documents instantly with students. Another really nice tool that I found is by Guru, G-O-O-R-U, and it's these cards that help you with Google Classroom. That's something that we're just now pushing out. And so Guru made these amazing Google cards that takes you step by step through. And then some other just random things I came across. There's an extension called Share to Google Classroom, and so that is on there. I also have, there's an art project that I'm a big fan of that uses street art, and it's the Google Art Project. Street art project, and it's a really cool way to get students looking at different countries and just giving a different perspective. And then I also put on that list the Google News Archives. That is so powerful if you're studying any kind of bias or current events and coverage in different parts of the world. It's interesting to see, for example, with the Paris attacks, how the people in Europe put that on the news versus the people in our country.
Cool.
And so I'm gonna hang up here in just a moment. I'm gonna give everyone access to that. And I can't remember, I have some few others on there as well, so just please check that out.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lisa. And thanks
problem.
Thanks for taking a break from your date for us.
No problem. Y'all have a great one, and y'all please share everything else. Amy, where can I find what everyone else is sharing?
If you go back to the GEG page, the page for this event,
okay,
then you will see all of the links to everything inside that spreadsheet. So I just took the spreadsheet where you guys signed up, and I modified it so that you could see it. Actually, Carrie's saying he doesn't have access, but I'll make sure that everybody does.
Okay, and when we hang up, like I said, I'll be sure to give everyone access to that bit.ly, so y'all please check it out.
Okay, great.
Okay,
Cool.
bye y'all, thank you.
All right, bye Lisa, thanks for coming.
Bye-bye y'all, bye.
All right, let's see who is next. I think it automatically went back over to me. And hey, I can hear my husband listening from the other room, and Rich, I'm really glad you're participating, but can you turn it down a little bit because it's giving me feedback. I heard my voice just come through in the other room. So, Edna, are you here? Yeah, I think I see you. No, I don't see Edna. I think Edna must not have made it. Or is anybody else in holiday mode already? Yeah, me too. That's what happened to me tonight. But Joey's here. Joey, you are next on the list, and I see your notes, and I will turn it over to you.
All right. Can you guys hear me okay? Just,
yes.
All right, perfect. All right, so what I did is I figured out a way to do text boxes in Google Docs. I know text boxes aren't the flashiest things, but it kind of helps out sometimes whenever you just need that box of text.
I hope you're going to show me that because I have never seen that before.
So what I do is I've made up a little sample document here, and hopefully you guys are seeing that.
Okay, go ahead and screen share with us. I don't see it yet.
Oh, all right. This is my screen share music.
And he brings his own music. I mean.
Oh, I do. Let's see, it says I'm presenting to everyone. Where's my screen share button? There it is.
Is anybody else seeing Joey's? There we go. Looks like it's about to switch. There we go. We got it.
All right. So I made up a little sample document here, just something that maybe you would incorporate with the class with some directions. And to put in a text box, I'm going to insert a drawing. And once it all loads up there, I'm going to create a little text box. And we'll call it the short version. And then we can make sure that our line is there. Make it all pretty. Oh, too much. And there's our text box. So I can move it wherever I need to. And break text and wrap text, etc. And so there's a text box.
Wow, I would have never thought of doing that. Did you think of that yourself, or did somebody show you that, or what?
Oh, so full disclosure, my wife is in college, and so her professor was sending her some Word documents, and I was uploading them into her Google Drive for her. And she made up directions that looked kind of like this, and the text boxes weren't showing up. So I just double-clicked on it and opened it up in Google Drawing, and I was like, oh, this is how you do text boxes.
That is a great idea. I love it. So cool. Thank you for showing us that.
You're welcome.
Did you have any? I think you had another thing, Joey, didn't you?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Not that I can think of.
And I see Carrie is here. Hold on. He wants in. He has something to share. So I'm going to ask him what his email address is. And I'm going to go next to Unisha. Unisha, are you here? I don't see her. So Refrans. And I'm turning it over right now to Refrans. And Refrans, you're up. Thanks for coming tonight. You weren't here last time. I was so thrilled to see your name.
Oh, wait, am I muted or unmuted now?
No, you're not. We can hear you.
Oh, yay. I'm excited to be here. Okay, I'm going to be really quick, but I'm going to share my page with you. That's not the one. This is the one. I believe that's the one. It is. So I'm actually going to share the Google News Lab and Think with Google. I'm a really big data nerd, and so when I can find I think I'm one of those Google people, I don't want to say Google people, but one of those people who has absolutely no life. So I sit up and just look for things often that are really interesting. So I've made this really big thing link, and I'll share this so that you can have access to it or whatever, but it just kind of puts together a lot of the Google things that I found interesting. This one was one that I found really interesting, especially for classrooms, when we're talking about how students can use tools of the real world, which is what we're really preparing them for, right? And Google is awesome about doing that. One of them is the Google News Lab, which is basically a site created to help people tell better stories. And whether those people are news people or bloggers who are writing, it's really a place where if you want to know how to use the tools of Google to make your stories better, it's where you can go. For example, you have training tracks that are created not for classrooms specifically, but really just for anybody. If you want to know about research, you click the research tab, and there are many lessons here that are things that we would normally have to teach kids, but Google has already created these lessons for us. So you can send them through researching with precision, verifying photos, the reverse image search, which I think is hilarious if people don't know, the public data explorer, like it goes on and on and on. It is literally one of my favorite places. So really quickly, the other one, though, is at Think with Google. So another interesting fact, if you Google *with Google, it'll show you basically a whole Google search list of all of the kind of experiments that are kind of going on with Google right now. Whoa, what happened?
I think somebody just joined who is not muted, and Carrie, I'm going to mute you right now. You may need to get some headphones on, and then we'll unmute you when we come back to you. Go ahead, Refrans. I have never seen any of this before.
This is like one of my most favorite things also. So anyway, if you're really into how people make decisions, especially in the consumer world, this is where Google kind of archives this information. This is where I learned about micro moments and Google's interesting data on how people make decisions when they go shopping, how many people have cell phones, what they do with that cell phone. All of this information is actually archived here for business developers who are needing good data in order to better make decisions in their businesses. So if you go over to topics, you can see all of the different topics you can learn about. I started at micro moments. I ended up at sports and entertainment and found all kinds of cool things that Google does, or Google has done as far as marketing, that are very much so still active and support the sports and entertainment world. But I'm going to take you to this place because I can't remember how to get back there. Because I thought it used to be here located under planning tools, but it's not. And some of you will know about Google Trends. You might know about shopping insights and all of these places. But there is a Google data board where you can actually make infographics with data, and it's done really beautifully. So if I go to build your infographic, oh, I have to pick a box first. So let's say I want to do one on understanding consumer local search behavior, and I'll choose location-based ads or whatever. So I'm under building my infographic. I can actually add all of these pieces to my infographic right now. And so I'm not going to, of course, do the whole thing. Okay, it's already added. So I'm building my infographic. It's done. When I go to build my infographic, it actually makes a completely shareable piece that you can publish right now. So that's kind of my quick share. That's a lot of stuff I know. But it'll all be shared, and you can go access and play with it as much as you want.
That is cool. So, Refrans, would you use that in your math instruction? You're not a classroom teacher anymore, but you could see how this could be used in that way.
Actually, better than that. So we have a marketing classes at our high school, and they've been using really textbook-based information, and they haven't really been using active data at all. So I actually showed all of this to our marketing teacher, and he's starting to replace some of his really, worksheets and putting some of these pieces in instead, so the kids are actually using active tools. I would use it not just in my math class. I would use it in an English class where you're writing predictive text about maybe consumer behavior. Like these are great discussion pieces even for sociology. So I mean, it can definitely be used beyond just math. I mean, you can use this in any area really.
Really cool. I have one question for you.
Yeah.
Rich Lombardo asked, do you know if this works on an iPad?
What the infographic creator?
Yeah, right.
I actually have not tried it on an iPad. I've only tried it on my Mac and my Chromebook. But that's a
Yeah,
good
that's an
question.
interesting question. Very cool. Thank you so much, Franz.
You're welcome.
I see that Sherra has joined us, and Sherra, you were actually on our list first, and I think that I had a little trouble inviting you, and I'm going to choose present to everyone on you now, and you are on the screen. Are you ready to go?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, okay, great.
So Sherra, we don't see your video,
Yeah,
but we
I just
do
wanted
hear
to
you.
know. Okay. Well, I was hoping that you.
Sherra, I think you're going in and out on us. Can you hear us? All right, I think we're gonna come back to Sherra in just a minute. And Sharon, I am turning it over to you right now, and you are on.
Hello.
So, hi.
Okay, let's see. I think I'm sharing to you. Emma?
Yes, you are.
Great. So a couple of things. If I am in my drive and I have something, say that it's a Word document, and I want the kids to be able, especially the struggling readers, have it read to them, I can install Chrome SpeakIT or SpeakIT from the Chrome Web Store for free. Click it, and she reads to me. Lucky me. Also,
Awesome.
there is another way, if you've got a PDF, that you can make a shortcut to Natural Reader. And hopefully you're seeing that now.
Yep, we see it.
And if I'm in, say, an LMS, and I've got a document, and I open that, and it's not as fast as I want it to be tonight, of course.
It never is when you're on the screen, is it?
Well, yippee.
So are you going to tell us that this reads PDFs aloud
Yes.
for free?
Well, I've got to copy and paste it into there. It used to be a extension in the app, but this summer it went away, and now it's on Google Play. So if your district is like mine, you don't have full access to Google Play for education, that's not so helpful to you. But then there's another way to get around that little lovely thing. If you go to your drive and you've got something, I hope you see a copy of my drive right now.
We do.
And the little red thing is a PDF. If you right click it, you can open it with Docs. It'll convert a PDF over to a doc. It takes about 3 seconds to 10 seconds depending on how much stuff you're running. And the first thing it does is it converts it to an OCR, a picture. Somebody's coughing, it doesn't mute it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought I was muted.
And you can't tell that, but right there, that's actually a picture. If you scroll down, then you actually see the actual document. So another cool thing to hear before you have it read to you to help the kids is if you go into add-ons and you add pupil press, you can get a colored background, which doesn't cure dyslexia or any reading disorders, but it does help it be real obvious that now that that's a picture. And then you can click this, highlight it, bam, go back to SpeakIT, and she'll read it to you. Then there's two other lovely things that I like. Inside of a Google Doc, if you go into Tools, of course, you know about voice typing. Your friend Tom Swallow has been talking about that. You click to speak. Hello, how are you this evening, period. And she'll type that in there for you. Love that. The kids love that. Another thing, because that only works in Google Docs, if you're in something else, like in a sheet, you can download something and it's free called Voice Note 2. And I'm going to jump over to another screen because why not? Voice Note, when I see it, I'll tell you, it's a piece of cake to use. You just talk and you say what language you're in. It will, the languages are, I mean, I don't even know what some of these are. It's just awesome that you can speak in that many languages. You hit your little, so I did my, I don't know why I'm pointing my finger like y'all can see that, so I have to pick my language. So couldn't you see what I'm doing? Did you
We're just not
Magic
paying attention.
Okay, so right here is your world. You have to tell your language, then you speak it. Hello, how are you? You stop it, and then you can copy and paste that into anything, including a form.
Very nice.
Let me mute because I am done.
Yay, thanks, Sharon. Those were great tips. And I'm going to speak for Jessica Powell for a second, even though she's next. I know she's sick. Jessica, thanks for coming. But we have been looking for something that, I'm going to switch back to me for a second. There we go. Are y'all seeing me? Yeah, okay. Sharon is, but the rest of you are too? Okay.
I can see you.
I guess how it works is I see the last person who presented because it doesn't show me, which is probably for the best. She can get stuck like, oh God, look at my hair, you know. But we've been looking for something that you can use for students with reading issues that they need the background color changed. There used to be a Chrome extension that did that, but it went out of the store a couple of years ago, so I'm really excited to see a way to do that. And Sharon, I also did not know any of those things that you just showed except for the Google voice typing, none of the rest of it. So thank you so much for coming and sharing that. It's incredibly useful. Okay, Sick Jessica, I am turning it over to you, Sicky Poo, and I'm hoping you're feeling a little bit better than you were.
Feeling a little bit better. It's kind of coming and going, but hopefully before Tuesday, since I'm going to Vegas for a week.
Oh, exciting!
Yeah, I'm excited about that. Okay, can you see my screen or?
I see you right now.
Okay, let me see. It says I'm presenting to everybody.
Go back to screen share again. That might just be letting you know that we're seeing you.
Yeah, sorry, I get a little backwards on all this stuff sometimes.
There you go.
All right. Okay, so let me get off that black hole of death. All right, so I think I'm talking about read and write voice notes. I signed up for that one, correct?
Let me see. You said adding documents in multiple folders in Google Drive and leaving voice notes in Google Docs using Read and Write for Google.
Okay. Okay. All right, so let me see. Share my screen, my entire screen. Let's try that now. All right, can you see this screen I'm on now, the one with the bit.ly on the top of the document?
Yes, we sure do.
All right, so most of you probably know already about Read and Write for Google. It used to be Read and Write for Docs, but now it's Read and Write for Google. And everybody can sign up for a free account, including students. And after a certain period of time, I've seen a 30-day trial, and I've also seen a 10-day trial. I don't know what that's about, but after a certain period of time, teachers can apply, even before the 30-day trial is over, teachers can apply to have their account upgraded to the gold version. And what I really like about the gold version is that whether you're a student who has a free account or a non-educational person who doesn't have a gold version, the voice comments still play in the sidebar. So teachers can leave the voice comments and students can still hear them. So let me demonstrate. So let's pretend that this is something I want to leave a voice note for my student. I'll highlight it. And up here in the very top, I don't know if you guys can see that,
yep, we can
but it's
see
up
it.
here. It looks like a little comment box, and if I click it, it turns my little top part into a microphone, so I'll click record, and so I'll talk about perhaps how this sentence could be improved or further instructions for the student that they may need to get from me, and then I click stop, and I can play it to listen to it, but I won't put you guys through that right now. So now I can click insert, and it's going to push my comment like a comment on the side of my document. So it looks just like a comment box would look in Google Docs. And for those of us who have Read and Write installed, it shows up like a little play button on the side.
Okay, I think you might have just said this, and I was helping someone get into the Hangout on my other screen, so sorry if you just answered this, but can my students see that if they don't have Read and Write Gold?
Yes, okay, so I have the same document pulled up in my personal account right here, and as you can see at the top, I do not have the gold version. The comment still shows up on the sidebar, and I can push play and listen.
I bet this is really taking a bite out of Kaizenna because it's gotten quite complicated.
Yeah.
And what you just showed is so simple. I think teachers are going to love that.
Well, and you know what's really interesting is that even if you don't have Read and Write pushed out, like for instance, we're going to push it out to our students who will be in the system this month. I'm really excited to say.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's been a very hard uphill battle on that one. But anyhow, so even if our kids don't have Read and Write installed, what's really cool is you see how on the text box beforehand, it looked like a link.
And then it changed over.
It changed over because I have Read&Write installed, but if I didn't have it installed, that link would still stay, and when you click on it, it would open up the comment in a new tab, like an audio file.
Gotcha.
So even if they don't have it, they can still hear what I have to say to them, regardless of having the app installed. So that's pretty cool.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Don't y'all think teachers are going to go crazy for that?
I do. I think it's great.
Language arts teachers who are going to get their weekends back because they don't have to type out comments.
Oh, yeah. Okay. The second thing I want to show you is something that, as somebody who works with teachers who are going from Microsoft into Google, this has been kind of like, you know that TV commercial where the people's head explodes and purple smoke pops out?
Yeah.
So this kind of has been like that for them. So just to explain a little bit, in Microsoft OneDrive, if you're not familiar with it, when you put a file into a folder, the location of that file, the URL to that cloud file, is specific to its location. So if you move a file out of a folder and put it into a different folder, the link that you gave your partner or your collaborator last week, that becomes broken. So it's really difficult to collaborate and move things around freely in your OneDrive, or at least it has been for me. So, in Google, kind of like in one big pot, and all these things that we think are folders, they're really just labels, right? And so it's possible to have things in no folder, just like this document, but you can also put things in more than one folder. And that kind of, for me, was a new thing. I just recently learned this. So let's say this document is something I need to have in 5 different folders that I've shared with 5 separate people. I don't have to make copies of this document and keep updating different copies. I can highlight it once, hit Shift-Z, and then if you'll wait just a moment, it allows me to add it to, instead of move it to, I'm adding it to, and I can select a different file and click Add, and so it adds it, and then I can do it again, and I can add it to another file. So let me add it to something where I don't need it anymore. Okay, so I've added that document to 2 different file folders, and it also lives here in my drive, not in a folder. If I update it here, it updates it in the 2 locations that look like they're in the folders. So now I can create a document one time, put it in 5 different folders for 5 different people, and I only have to update it in one of those places.
That has got to be seeming like magic to people who are coming from the Microsoft
It
world.
really is. They really, I think that's, and it for me too. I mean, honestly, I didn't understand how it all worked. I didn't understand how Google Drive really kind of worked as far as the way the files are stored and why is the URL good here, and in Microsoft, why does it get broken? I didn't know that. So my friend Mike Wallace explained that to me in a way that kind of made sense, and so now that I know that, I share that with everybody. So no more having multiple copies of documents living around. In your Dropbox, for instance, I have a teacher who has 10 different folders for 10 different campuses, and she finally ran out of space in Dropbox, and she's in tears about it. Now she can put it in Google Drive and just add it to different locations.
That's going to be easier for her anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now I feel like we're running a commercial. Buy Google. It's only $9.95.
Only free.
It's only free.
Yeah.
All right, Amy Causey is up next, and don't worry, Sherra, I have not forgotten about you. I'm coming back to you, and so keep your tip ready. All right, Amy, you are on the screen.
All right. I want to show you something that has really made my job a lot easier, and that's the appointment slot feature in Calendar. I don't know if anybody's ever used it before, but it's pretty awesome. So I'm going to share my screen here.
By the way, your makeup looks really good, too.
Thanks.
So you got more dressed up for this call.
I actually did. Okay, so I'm in my Google Apps for Education account, so you'll see my icon up there. Now, appointment slots can only be made whenever you're in week or day view. So I know I love my month view, but it can only be done in day or week. So I'm going to go ahead and go to week, and I'll look at my Tuesday and say I happen to find myself open from 2 to 4:30. So if I take my mouse and hold a left click down for those time slots and then let go, you'll see a little link up here for appointment slots. From there, if you go into edit details, just like creating an event, you'll have more options. So I can title my event sample appointments. Here's my time block in case I want to change it. I can offer time slots in however much time I need. I usually do 30 minutes. I try not to take up an entire conference period for teachers. And then I can identify the place that I'm going to be. So if I want to open up appointment slots at Huntsville High School, can't seem to type tonight.
It's something about being watched.
I think so.
It's really hard to type.
And then I hit save. That will create a little slot here. It's got little sections that other people can see. So let me go back into my appointment slot and show you what this looks like through this link. So when you see the link, you'll be able to see the little buttons that the people will press to actually schedule their appointment. Now these here, you can see my events. That's my personal calendar, but you can see my events for my week. But on their screen, they'll only be able to see free or busy. So I'm set to free or busy on their calendars. Once they select and make their appointment, and I always ask them to put in their room numbers, but once they make their appointment, then that slot will be taken and nobody else can make that appointment.
It is awesome, isn't it?
It really is amazing, and people really love having that ability to schedule time with me without sending email after email after email. We really, really enjoy it. So.
Another thing I learned about it just this year, Amy, and I bet you have figured this out too, is that your calendar link, that appointment slots link that you give to people, stays the same always. Mm-hmm. So if you go back in again and make another set of appointment slots, that link will be identical. So if you want to, so that link that she's showing right there, this calendar's appointment page. So if you want to, you can put a link to that in your email, like in your signature, and you can always have appointments open.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of incredible.
Yeah, I did notice that after the second time I went to go schedule appointments in the same week. I had integrated technology, something as the title, pretty generic, but I had opened it up to the high school and the middle school, and I ended up with high school teachers scheduling me on a day that I really needed to be at the middle school. So, yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. Yeah, I had to make sure to put where it was going to be at.
Yeah, because you could be driving back and forth a lot. Yeah. Good point. Good point.
Yes. The one other feature I wanted to show you real fast is whenever you are creating an event and you need more than one person on that event, oftentimes we end up going back and forth on email. So if I were to add, say, a coworker of mine to this, and I needed to know when I could schedule this appointment with her, there's two different ways. The first way is to go over here to find a time next to event details, and you'll see that Ruth and I are open on Wednesday, November 25th. Now, if I made this another day, let me try to find a day where I know we're. So I can see that Ruth is going to be busy all day, and I'm going to be busy all day, so we can't schedule an appointment with each other. I love the find a time because it keeps us from going back and forth on email. Yeah. The other one, which, I don't know, Amy, you might be able to tell me why I'm not seeing suggested time.
I don't know.
But I usually see a little button down here that says suggested time, and it'll give me a list of, oh, maybe I need to, that's right, I need to put the time up here. Yeah, if you check all day, you won't see it. Brooke showed me that in the office one day. Brooke Lowry did. So suggested times is here, and I can go through, and all of these are times that Ruth and I are both available.
That is so nice, especially when you have like 5 or 6 people and you're trying to find a time. If you can get everybody to use their calendar and not just schedule things for all day, then it is a beautiful thing.
Yes.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much. Those are some of my favorite calendar features too, although I have never used that suggested time. I don't think I've ever even been aware of seeing it before. So I'm really glad that you just showed that.
Well, thank you. Thank you for inviting me. It was an honor.
Thanks for coming. All right, next up is JR, and I see him in here. So JR, I am turning it over to you, and I think you're on.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, all the way from California, and you sound just like you're next door.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, guys. This is really great to be in a room full of you guys. So, all right. Well, let me Hold on 1 second. Can everybody see my window real quick?
No, we see you.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Sorry, I got to share that. That was my bad. Thought you already had it. Let me share my
I think
screen.
I'm wondering if maybe when I control it and I do present to everyone, if it doesn't make it go back to your camera or something.
All right. So, everyone see this now?
Yes, we do.
Okay, great. So, I wanted to share a couple of things in Google Docs that you may not be aware of. One is that in your preferences under Tools, you can actually save keystrokes that will auto-complete within a Google Doc. So just to show you first what that does, for example, if I wanted to type be right back, if I just type BRB and space, it automatically populates directly into the Google Doc. And I have something like another keystroke command like happy birthday, which is actually HBD. And if I go ahead and press space, after that it auto-completes. So how do we add that in? So we go to Tools, we go to Preferences, and this is where you can go ahead and automatically or enter a specific set of keystrokes, and it will auto-populate that text for you. So for example, if you're making a comment, well, unfortunately it doesn't work in comments for Google Docs, but if you're going to comment within the doc, like INC will become incomplete, and you can, again, customize whatever this autocomplete text response you'd like. So that's how to do it. Again, it's Tools and their Preferences, and then replace a set of keystrokes with a set of text. So hopefully that's helpful for you.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then this one I found out about a month ago, and ever since I found out and shared this with the people I work with, it's pretty much their brains exploded. So this is an add-on in Google Docs. It's called SAS Writing Reviser. So here's a sample of actually, let me go ahead and delete all of this text right here, so we can bring this back up. So here's a writing sample right here. Let me go ahead and turn on the add-on. So if you don't know how to turn or get add-ons, just you click on Get Add-ons, and you can find add-ons that will basically are scripts that will get installed into Google Docs. Think about them as spices to a meal. So it kind of enhances what Google Docs can do for you. One of them is really powerful, and this is called the SAS Writing Reviser. So let's go ahead and open that. And you'll see it, the script will open up over here, a little window on the right. Let me go ahead and make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see. All right, so now I'm looking for evidence of the passive voice in the writing sample. If I click on that, check this out. It actually finds that and highlights it in the document.
No way.
And as I scroll down, you can kind of see where those incidents are. So if you click on, if your students don't know what the passive voice is, you can even find out a little bit more about the passive voice, and they give you some examples right here. So let's go back. Let's take a look at some repeated words.
That's amazing.
So I can, and notice because happens to show up about 9 times, but if it shows up, about 20, 25, 30 times, you'll note that you probably want to speak to that student and maybe have them revise their essay. So cool.
Yeah.
And
that's
then
amazing.
Additional information. So let's go back. Let's take a look at sentence power. We can take a look at the tenses within the document. This is amazing. It actually identifies all the verbs in the document, highlights it, and then we'll color code it. So if one happens to be in the present or in the past tense, it's actually highlighted in green. All the ones that are in present tense are highlighted in yellow, and it actually goes through the entire document. Pretty cool,
okay,
huh?
I have to know. Can y'all raise your hands if you've heard of this before? And my hand's down because I have never seen this.
Have you never seen this one before?
No. Anyone? I think it brought something new to Texas, like a discovery or something.
Right. So here's another thing that's pretty cool. So I just closed that. Hold on. Let me open it back up again. Actually, let me show you sentence length bar chart. So it even has analytics. So there's a bar chart of the length, the number of words per sentence. And you'll note that it's around 50 to 20 where you want it to be for a typical essay. And if you've got something that's beyond 40 words per sentence, that's probably a little bit more of a run-on. That looks like it's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's sentence number 4. But you can also go in there and actually, if I open up the Writing Reviser, oh, I'm sorry, it's actually in here. So if I go to sentence list, it actually lists all the sentences in order. And it looks like that's sentence number 4 right there.
Look at that, so you can go and find it so easily.
Right, and then you can quickly leave a comment in there. So the power, I mean, this is such a powerful tool, and I've shown this to a lot of my English language arts teachers that I support, and they've been finding this really helpful. But so I kind of, encourage them to actually not spend the time to turn this add-on, or use the add-on for their purposes. Actually, we want the students to actually use the add-on and proofread the document before they submit it into Google Classroom or into their learning management system. And so inevitably what happens is their writing artifacts end up being much better, and then, again, it becomes a little bit more efficient because everybody knows as a teacher it's easier to grade the good stuff, and it takes 3 times as long to grade the bad stuff.
Right. Is it free?
Yes. The only thing that is required is that you create an account in SAS Writing Reviser. And you can just log in actually via Google.
Wow.
And then there's other things too. For example, if you want to figure out, find dangling modifiers in there, you'll even highlight it in the document. So there's so much in here that I haven't even explored. I would say I've only explored about 50% of the tools for SAS Writing Reviser, but this is definitely one of those that could be a game changer for people who may not be sold on using Google Docs yet or Google Drive. So that's it. That's SAS Writing Reviser.
Wow, I feel like I'm going to have to puff a purple smoke over my head any second now. Thank you so much, JR.
You're welcome.
Mind's blown. Mind's blown. All right, Carrie, I hope you're ready because you're next. And I just turned it over to you. And you guys
Can you hear me?
Carrie now. Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, sorry about that earlier. My phone answered the Hangout at the same time as my computer, and it caused some issues.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. Well, let me share my screen and see how that goes. Is everybody seeing what I'm seeing there?
There we go. We see it right now. Yes,
okay, great. So this is something I learned from Casey Bell at this year's Google Summit. It's an add-on for Google Sheets called Site Maestro, and what it lets you do is you create a website in Google Sites, and then you can push it out to students. And then they each get a copy where you're the owner of the site and they're an editor on the site. And so then only the two of you can see it, and they can have basically an online portfolio that you've created the template for, and they can't really...
Oh, I lost this audio. Oh, you came back, okay. The last thing we heard you say was they can't, and then you were going to say something right after that.
Sorry, I was saying they can't break it, basically, because you can set the permissions to where they can't delete pages and so on. And so it's really great. I've been using it this whole semester with my dual credit classes and my AP classes because I'm teaching both this semester, and it's been really neat. One important thing about it is that you have to be using a Google Education account. It doesn't work with a personal account, but other than that, that goes for a lot of stuff. So I made a presentation for TCCA in Aldine this year, and I'm just running through it really quickly on my screen. First, you create the template site in Site Maestro, in Google Sites, and then you create a Google Sheet that's a roster of your class. And I've learned some different things from having done this, and one of the things that I learned the hard way was that you should not combine classes into one roster. And in their tutorial they suggest to do so, but I found that causes me some headaches with grading. But anyway, if
For a different
I did that
sheet
with some
or
and
a
not with
different
others.
sheet within, do you do a different page per class, or do you do
No,
an
you have to have
entirely
a
different sheet?
completely new spreadsheet. You can't just do a different sheet for each. It has to be a completely different file. But it's
Gotcha.
not a big deal. I did that with basically I have 6 periods, and I combined 3 periods into one roster, which was a bad idea. And then the other 3 have their own rosters, and the 3 that have their own rosters are very easy to manage. But you add the Site Maestro add-on to the Google Sheets, and then it's just you run it, and it creates a copy of the site for each kid. And it's pretty neat because what it does is it actually, you put in like a name, you put in a script for how to name it. And so it's like first name, last names, history, portfolio. And so then their website will be named John Smith's History Portfolio. And it's pretty neat.
Cool.
Um,
So does it pulls that information dynamically from your spreadsheet columns?
It does. It does. And then what's pretty neat about it is managing and assessing. You can then go into that spreadsheet, run Site Maestro, and then you have all these options that you can see in this picture here. So you can see most recent edit by student, which is the main thing to do. And when I do that, what it'll do is you can see how it's got that one student up at the top is highlighted in green. It highlights in green anyone that's made a change since the last time you ran the thing.
Wow.
So I have my students, they have, one of the pages on their portfolio is a current events blog, and they have a current event due every other Friday. So it's due at Friday at 7 a.m. So I go Friday at 8 a.m. and run Site Maestro, and anyone that doesn't light up green, I know they either didn't do it or they did it like a long time ago or something, and in that case I can go check. But it's pretty, usually, it'll also tell you what they did. So you can see in this little picture here, it says last edit time, tells you when they did it, and then it tells you what page they changed. And so
you can click right on that and go straight to the page.
Right, you click on that and it takes you straight to the page.
Nice. That's
It's
so
really
nice.
it's really neat. So yeah, I really like it. The issues that I've had with it are things that I've learned. Like I said, don't combine classes into one roster. What I found is that if your class has more than about 40 or 50 kids, then Site Maestro, it won't work. It freezes, at least for me. It freezes up. It never freezes up on my individual classes, but my class that has 100, almost 100 kids in it, that class, it gets to about the 50th kid, and then it stops.
So that's the one that you combine the 3 classes together before you move.
Yeah, and once you've combined them, you can't uncombine them. Like, you can't create a new one because it won't work. You'll have to push a new website to them also, basically.
Gotcha.
So for just that one group, I just have to go and look at their sites manually, which I can still go through and click their name, and it'll take me right to their site. So it's not that big of a deal to do it for those 3 classes. But yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but it would have been a lot better to have them separate, like you have the rest of them.
The ones that I have separate, it takes me like 3-5 minutes to grade a whole class worth of websites.
Awesome.
If it's completion grading. If it's not completion grading, then you've got to go and look at it. But for that site, most of the stuff is completion. So
well,
the other
village
issue
school
is
will
that
be
you can't
using
edit
that
the
for Google
sites.
Teams next year, because this would be so much better than what we're doing right now.
Yeah. The other issue is you can't edit the sites once you've pushed them out. I mean, you can, but you have to edit them individually. You can't mass edit.
Right. Because they've been copied from that template.
Right. So I put due dates on the pages, and then I changed my mind about how to do the due dates. And so I have to just tell the kids, hey, the due date's not what it says on the page, or tell them to change it. And a lot of time, they just can't take that step. But yeah, it's pretty neat. The other issue is with the, if you get behind on your grading, since you can only see most recent edit, then you'll have to go through and manually grade if you get behind. So you've got to grade anytime something's due. You've got to grade like right away before the next thing's due, or else you're going to have to go back and manually grade, which is kind of the story of my life. Is not
so it keeps you accountable, though, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But so that's it.
Great. Thanks for sharing, Carrie. Definitely going to be using that.
Thank
you. Joan, I am so glad you hung in here, because it is your turn. You are next on the sheet.
All right, let's see. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. There we go. Share. Okay, are you seeing my screen?
We are.
Okay, let me just make a disclaimer that I don't in the future want to go after Carrie and JR.
You'll be fine, Joan. I know you.
Okay. And I'm also recovering from sinus infection, so my voice may cut in and out. But so can y'all see this?
Yeah, so cute.
Okay, so this is, you know, I work with the elementary, the babies, and so so much of what we do with them, like we are using Google Classroom with kindergarten and first grade, and so, you know, their reading skills are not great, their writing skills are not great. So a lot of the assessments and things that we want to do or activities that we want to do, we're using a lot of drag and drop activities for them to complete in Google Classroom. Well, one of the things that I haven't been able to figure out, and I've sent this into Google, I've asked them to be able to lock images, but as far as I know, we can't do that yet. I keep checking. So we kind of developed a workaround for that. So when I show you, this was they were working on character traits this week. So this was something I made for the teachers so that they could do this little activity in assign it in Google Classroom for character traits, where they would take the little, decide which character obviously matched which turkey, and they would drag it over. Anyway, so like I said, the problem with, let me get rid of this. The problem with little kids is that when they have lots of things on the screen that they can move around, they tend to move the wrong things, or they stretch them, and they do all kinds of crazy things. And then they go, what did I do? Wait, I messed it all up. And they freak out. And so, of course, the first thing we teach them is that, you know, the undo button, that's your best friend. But what we found is the workaround. Let me move this back over, this little hat. And this was actually something new that I discovered just recently. We've been making these huge screenshots, or, you know, big shots of the different places that we wanted to make images of using Snagit. But I just discovered these little, we're using a lot of Chromebooks now, and these, I don't know if you already knew these, probably did, but these little buttons up here at the top of your Chromebook keyboard, sometimes you just want to take a quick snap of a picture, and you don't want to have to go through Snagit and save it and, you know, go look for it. So if you do Control and this little button on the top of your Chromebook, it does a complete screen capture. And if you do Control Shift and this, then it will, let me show you what that does. Control Shift. Then I get this little, the little crossbars right here.
Yeah.
And I can just do a quick, and y'all see I can copy this to my clipboard and then just do Control V, and I can immediately paste something.
I did not know that.
I did not either, and when I found, because our teachers have been using, you know, PC laptops for so long, and they all love that snipping tool because it's so fast. And so we've been using Snagit since we got the Chromebooks, and I was like, there's got to be a better way. And sure enough, did a little bit of digging, and I found this. So let me show you. I want to show you really quickly what we have been doing to kind of, I put it in quotation marks, lock the screen. Let me just move this stuff way out of the way. And of course, it's going to go slow because y'all are watching. Let me get rid of that. So I get this out of the way as much as possible. Normally, I would have done all this before I even put those little feathers together. And then I use my little screen capture, Control Shift, and my little window expander there. And I basically am going to take a screen capture of about this much of the screen, and then paste it on there. Okay, now I need to crop a little bit of this out real quick. So I'm just going to crop a tiny bit. All right, and then I take this. So basically, I'm making a whole screen of what I've just done. So even though they can still move this part around that I'm trying to expand. They can still move this part around, But I'm going to go put this on top. Oh, move it to top. When I make the sort of the desktop that the kids are working on, when I make that the biggest part of the page, at least if they're moving something around, it's the whole picture, and they're not moving all the little individual things around. And this has worked really well with our kindergarten and first graders.
That is so smart. So the reason I was wondering at first why you got the background, but I get it now. You got the background because that makes it less likely they're going to click on that and move it out of the way so that they can't see it.
Exactly. So I use the background as well, because we found that if we just did this part right here, just that little one part of the page, it was still so easy. They would move the page around. They would still move so much. So we capture as much as we can, and we just, like, you can still see that there's the background there, and they can still move it, but at least the whole picture's moving, and it doesn't freak them out quite as much, and then they can move their little things over and make their cute little turkeys. Whoops.
That is actually a really amazing tip.
Well, like I said, there we go. See my cute little feathers. Anyway, I keep asking Google to add that, but they don't. And one other thing you guys probably already know about this, but this has become one of my favorite extensions. Do y'all know Color Picker? You probably do, but if you don't know this color, what is it? Color
Pick Eyedropper, and I know because I love it.
It is my favorite new extension because I'm obsessed with making things, color schemes and making everything match. So when you click on that, like I wanted this background to match. This was the title from the book. So all I do is I simply move my little arrow over where I want it, and I get the what is that, the RGB number or whatever, and I simply do Control-C, and then when I want to change the color of something, close that. I go into my colors, and I can go to Custom. I take this out and just paste that in, and it matches the color exactly. That's one of my favorite things that I do. Anyway, so that is that's about, as Forrest Gump would say, that's about all I have to say about that. So, anyway, thank you.
Thank you so much. That was awesome, and I agree about Color Pick Eyedropper. I love it. Okay, Sherra, you're back.
Yes. I'm sorry.
That's all right. We all have
my son's friend out. Okay.
Here you are. You're on the screen.
This will be quick. But it's good to see you guys and put faces with names.
Yeah, thanks for coming. Thanks for joining us.
So I just wanted to share quickly, we use Google Forms on our campus quite a bit. We have our discipline form inside of a Google form. And so I wanted to show how we have about 1,000 students on campus. So to eliminate the need of typing in every student, I actually copy and paste from our list of students into my Google form.
Show us what you mean.
And you guys probably already know that, but it seemed like something really simple.
I'm not sure I do. I definitely want you to show us.
Okay. Pull it up. This is the first time I've done this. I hang out. So
it's kind of intense, isn't it?
Just trying to get to a form is not coming up.
We see you. There we go. We're going back again. There we are.
Okay, what did I do wrong?
So just click on that window back behind there. See how your email is back behind that window where we're seeing the boxes? Just click back there in the background and see if you can get that part of your screen to pull back up. Or you can click the yellow circle in that window that's in the front there. And now I take that one out of the front. Sherra, you want us to come back in a second?
Please, I don't know what I did.
All right, you work on it. We'll be right back. Okay, Rich. Last but not least, and not even last because we're coming back to Sherra.
Sounds good. How's everyone doing?
Yeah, I like your decor.
You like that? I went for the peacock look.
Yeah, it's fanciness with the no hair and then the peacock thing. That's great.
And the makeup, I did mine too.
Oh, yeah, you're looking lovely. You could use a little bit more mascara, but...
All right, so I have two things to show tonight. So I want to show a couple of extensions, and then I want to show what I really wanted to do, but it would only take 10 seconds, so we'll leave that for the end because that's probably my new favorite thing. So, all right. Share my screen. All right, so I want to show a couple of quick extensions. So one of my new favorite ones is the Google Calendar. I just like that I can quickly see it and see the days or the week's events coming up, and I can quickly add one. So for instance, I want to add it to my calendar, and it's going to be the GEG Texas Demo Slam, and it's at 7 p.m. And when I hit add, it automatically will add it to the day as well as my calendar. You can see it right here.
When did that come out? I've never seen that before.
So I'm not sure. I found it recently, and it's great because it just makes it real quick and easy to see things.
I'm going to be having that one in just a few minutes.
The next one, which I know, what is it, TabCloud and OneTab, or all of those get a lot of love in the forums, but my favorite still is Fresh Start. So, for instance, you can see I have Fresh Start here, I have the Google Calendar here. When I click on it right over here, I get to change the name. So I'm going to call this Extensions. And I get to choose which items I want in it. So I want my 3 extensions that I'm going to show tonight. I'm going to hit Save. So now it's saved those right here. I can export them, but this is the best part, is I can add them. So if I'm working, or edit them, sorry, if I'm working on a specific topic and I have a habit of ending up down the rabbit hole, depending on what I'm looking for, I might have 50 tabs on multiple pages. I can go through all of those windows and I can either add or I can even delete, and then when I save, that new list shows up right here, and if I want to recreate those, I just simply click on it and the new page will open up in the same format that I had it before. So you can see on this page only 1 tab was selected. The other page, hopefully you guys can still see that, I had 2 tabs selected.
Yeah, we saw it. That is incredible.
And then you can even, if I go back and edit it again, I can move them. You see how they say it's 2 windows? I can move this one over here, and now it's back to 1 window. So when I open it up, all 3 tabs are in the same browser window.
Wow. That's like TabCloud on steroids.
Yeah, this one has been my favorite for a while, and it's great. It works great. As you can see, when the laptop crashes, or especially on my home computer when the storms come through, I'll just quickly close everything, shut the machine down, and unplug it, and then wait till the storm passes.
Wow, that is major.
And then my last one is, I'm sure everyone's just as excited as I am for the Star Wars.
I see Carrie doing a cheer over there. He's muted, but he's still cheering.
So this is a great extension. It's called Turn the Lights Out. So if you're watching a video in class and you want everyone to stay focused on the video, just click the little light bulb and the lights turn off.
Nice.
And what's really cool is if you right-click on it and you go to Options, you actually, they do want you to donate, and right now I'm not going to. You can adjust the opacity of that backdrop. You can even change the image, so if you wanted to actually do something. They do have this weird dynamic one where bubbles and stuff come through, but it actually goes over the video, so I wasn't too thrilled about that. But what's really cool is you can edit all the way down at the bottom. There's the autoplay, auto stop, and then there's YouTube features. So if you want to see the suggestions, I can click on it. If I go back here and turn it off and then back on, you can see it actually leaves that area open. The same way it would do for comments and things down here.
Nice. I did not know that it had any options.
Yeah, it's pretty. I was surprised how robust it actually is, but for the basic features, it's great just to be able to block everything. And you can see the preview right here. It shows the what the visual is actually going to see.
Very cool.
And then
that is awesome.
The last thing I want to show is a lifesaver for me. So when you're moving documents, and let's say I want to move a file into a folder, normally you have to open up the folder. So if I want to put something in this folder, I can then drag it right in. Well, as of, I believe, Friday or Thursday, you can now just look at the folder and say, you know what, I want it right in here, let go, and it is now in there.
Wait, could you do that one more time, please?
Sure. Let me go ahead and remove this guy. So instead of having to, in the past, you had to open up the folder that you're going to drag into, and you no longer have to do that. You can just drag it right on top of the folder, and it'll automatically go right into that folder.
Oh my God. If you had not, you know, I could have gone for years and never realized that that was fixed.
Yeah, as of, I think, 2 days ago.
How did you learn that that was fixed?
That was on one of the Google update messages that I got.
You know why we have to keep doing this? So I don't have to read those boring updates. I just have all of you to show me what happens, and I don't even have to read. That is beautiful. Thank you so much, Rich.
No problem. So that's what I got for you.
Okay, Sherra, I'm dying to see what you have to share with us. I'm
Okay.
going back to you. We're going to make it work this time. You're on.
Okay. I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
You're not doing anything wrong. You just are going to find that yellow dot up there that's on that window, and you're going to click that, or else click back behind it. Do you see where your Aldine logo in the top left-hand corner is kind of peeking out from behind? There you go. There you are.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to go into a form that I was just getting started. And like I was saying, we use Google Forms for our discipline reports. And instead of our teachers having to enter a kid's name every time they need to document a misbehavior, I went ahead and put all of the students into a Google form alphabetically. And I went to question title, and it's choose from a list. And I'm going to go here to a list and just simply copy and paste. And it comes up.
So you're going to go over to a spreadsheet, and you're going to grab some names right from that column?
Right from here.
Okay.
Right click to copy. Go back into my form. And from here, I'll just hit paste.
Awesome.
And so I can actually create a question title for each segment of the alphabet.
Oh, I see what you did. So you don't have 1,000 kids there.
Right.
You have A through G, and then you paste that group in there.
Correct. And so we break it up, and I may have some additional pages in here because our discipline form is for both 5th grade and 6th grade. And so the teachers can actually go to that form, go to the 6th grade section, and then it'll skip down after they put that information in, and they can put in the consequences or what the behavior was. So I try to make it as easy as possible because they were saying there was just taking too long to put the kids' names in. Also, you can grab another column and submit that into that space, and it'll pull that information up as well.
Wait a minute. So you can take a second column and overlay it?
I can take, for an example, we wanted the students' ID numbers. So that was in the next column next to their name.
Okay.
So I simply, it just says craft items, but if I wanted to put their ID number, I would just simply grab it from the next column, copy and paste, copy it from here, and then paste it over into the next section, and it would add that information in there.
So it
wouldn't give you an additional.
But you're saying you can take 2 columns at one time.
Right.
Wow, I did not know you could do that. Oh, look at that. It did it. So you can have name and student ID. Yeah, I can see. And then when you're in your spreadsheet and you go back and search that student ID, you can see it that way or with the name.
Correct.
Very
nice.
So
it was just something simple that I just happened up on one day, and it saved us a ton of time.
Well, if I were you, though, I would let everybody at my school keep thinking that I was typing all those in there individually just to help them out, you know? I don't really see any reason that people at your school should know this, do you? Do y'all agree? I wouldn't tell anyone. Don't tell them about this call either. They don't need to know. Just between us. Thank you guys so much, and for staying a little late too. And because we're doing this right now, but we're doing this for hopefully probably hundreds of other people who are going to be watching it later on. Maybe a lot of educators will take some time this week to learn what we learned tonight. Do you guys want to do this again? You're all muted, so you'll just have to nod. Yes. Amy's a yes. Joan's a yes. Rich is a yes. Harry looks less excited than about the Star Wars thing, but he's still a yes. Sharon's a yes. I think Sherra is a yes too. All right, great. Well, we will plan another one of these soon. This does qualify as our GEG meetup as well, and it's been really successful. We got great feedback the last time we did this, so I thank you guys so much for contributing again. And stay members of those GEGs, and you'll see when the next one's coming up. And I hope that you will rejoin. I think we're gonna have to extend the time a little bit because we had actually more presenters than we did time tonight. So that's awesome. Thank you guys so much, and have a great Turkey Day.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Bye, everybody.